Welcome back to the Brew podcast, everyone. This is episode 194. Back in the church room bar, but we actually were in the church room bar last week. But we had one of those rare weeks where we got to get together in between shows. But this was for somebody else's show. I feel like Joe Rogan when he does a podcast that isn't his own. Yeah, he's a guest on somebody's.
Yeah,
like he went on, I don't know, Bill Burr's podcast or something. It's weird. It's weird to see him on like YouTube in a clip that's not his with that background.
It's interesting too because Stinger doesn't go by his real name on his Twitch stream, but we go by our real names. So like we were talking to him. I was talking to him before we hit record over there, and it's like it's going to be challenging for me to go by Stinger than it is, as I've known him by his name and everything like that. And I don't think I followed up once.
No.
But that 4 hours went really quick.
Yeah. I've never been warned by somebody that you're reaching a point of like a critical point in hot tubbing.
Yeah.
To where you got to get out.
Yeah.
I did not know that. We had after the cameras went off, there was a post-production conversation.
Yeah.
I had not known that it was, I guess it makes sense. You're sitting in there sweating, but you don't realize it because you're in a hot tub.
Yeah, and he lowered the temperature, and there was times during it that I wish he would have raised the temperature. And then he had his 1 year on Saturday, but I think we had more on Thursday than we did on Saturday.
Wow.
By a few people. So.
Were you there?
No. The kids are not in town, so we took Saturday and we just shuttered ourselves in the house.
Smart.
So yeah, it's been an amazing 6 days so far. 7 days, 6 days.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
One comment, the slipperiness of the surface was.
So you can get some sort of ablation for the hot tub, and again, you can go check this out. Stinger 1988 on Twitch, but he's got VODs I think that automatically get put up to YouTube. So all you have to do is look Stinger 1998. 1988 if you weren't able to join us. I know Stev wasn't able to join us, so he might actually go check it out. But I was talking to him about that. You can get like an ablation done, so you like have a little bit of tackiness, or like traction or whatever. A lot of people don't elect to do it because it's not.
Well, it's his. He's the one that's doing it.
Yeah.
Doing the stream.
As fluid as we were, there's times I never did, but there's times I almost, submerged.
I almost did. Like I was like, there's no chance that I can let my actual face dip underneath this water.
Yeah. I again, with the ease and the clickability and of Twitch, there's value there. I just don't know. The setup's a little more common with OBS and everything like that. He streams from another computer, and I was looking at his setup or whatever, and it's just easier. Like when we just hit record, or we just do Skype, we just hit record.
Yeah.
Which reminded me, the last time we did a YouTube and we went live, like I practiced a lot of times to make sure that we had it right.
Yeah.
And
smart.
Now I don't think I would. I like watching him do his setup. I don't think I would remember how to do the setup that we had for our last live.
Yeah, well, I think if we do that again, we should just use Twitch. That seems like a good idea.
But then people need to make accounts to like, a lot of our population of people aren't like. My wife was watching and she's like, I don't have an account, but so she was just texting me as she was watching, and then when I went to my final form, that's when she turned it off. She's like, I've seen it all. But
final form.
Anywho, it was fun to do the bourbon escalation with Stinger. I really feel like it went over well, and again, to get a non-beer guy, which is great, that still adds value even on a beer podcast. Getting his take on bourbon barrel aged beers, and the wide swath, both from readily available, cheap and terrible, to something that's out of production that they don't even make anymore. So
yeah, I had a lot of fun, so thanks for having us there. I did want to give a outshout of sorts. I'm not sure if it's if it's positive or neutral, but Stev's wife, Mrs. Stev,
Yeah.
it has had surgery. So keep her in your mind. I don't know what the sayings are because I don't typically use them. But thoughts and prayers seems like an overused thing for school shootings now. So I'm gonna go ahead and not say that.
When we which reminds me, I've got something to catch you up on, but it's not for this. Remind me at the end.
Yeah,
we got
definitely
on the same lines that you just talked about. So yeah, beer related. So again, kids I'm going to make this short and sweet. I've wanted to go to Hall's because he posted a Toppling Goliath can art that I just want just specifically for the can art, that and Toppling Goliath. So it's 98% chance that it's going to be one of the best beers. I didn't get there, but I did get to Barrel House yesterday, and I asked Scott if they had it, and he said no, but he knows the can I'm talking about. So, so that, again, terrible story, but it's funny that I got to Barrel House and didn't get to, but again, beer related, there's a lot of stuff out there. Unfortunately, drinking a little bit.
Too much to
too much fun.
Ever have all of.
Yep.
Never try all the beer. But we're having a week similar to yours next week.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that when we're gonna drop the kids off on the way home, maybe we'll hit 450. My news is one. I went back had another baseball tournament down south. So we went to Warped Wing again for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
This time brought Chuggalo Stev.
Yeah.
Again, the food is unbelievable. But the tacos were less consistent than I had hoped. The first time I had them, I was blown away. Second time, it seemed like there was some chicken missing from my tacos.
Oh.
And then they had less beer on tap than they did the first time, and it had only been a week. So that was disappointing.
We went to a baseball game on Friday, Dayton Dragons game.
Oh.
And I'm annoyed with I had a bunch of cash. I'm annoyed with places that refuse cash. That's redonkulous.
Oh, don't go to Kings Island then.
Yeah, still haven't been there.
You should. It's amazing.
Doesn't move my needle.
Really? You're not a roller coaster guy? We should talk about that sometime.
I would rather go to a water park, which I'm going to.
They have a water park.
I know, but like
they're cashless.
a good one. But anyway, so the cashless stuff annoys me. That, and when you go to a game and you're gonna have multiple beers, do you tip on every beer?
You're supposed to, but I have like just so high anxiety on tipping, like really high. I guilt myself into giving too much all the time, so I get up and get beer when I'm at the Dragons game because it's not far.
Yeah, so no, like even that's what I'm saying. Like when I go into the beer cave there.
Nope, I don't tip in there.
Oh, you don't tip every time?
Not in the beer cave. I tip when they bring it to me.
Oh, okay. So I tip the first one, but then they flip it over. And it's like I talked to Tam Tots about this on Friday. And I go, I always tip big on the first one, and then after that, like for her, I'll always toss her a couple extra bucks. But like, do I get a negative stigma because, like, let's say, like I tip Scott, on the first beer again. I always tip big on the first one.
Yeah.
Because I was cash as much as I could have been this last weekend. But sometimes I'll just like fake motion over to the tip jar. Mm-hmm. But I'm not putting anything there. I don't want to like. I guess then it looks like I could be trying to steal something. I'm not stealing. I'm tipping on the first one, big, like a big percentage.
Yeah.
Also, again, beer related with tanks. I still love going and just getting the beer yourself.
Yeah,
I wish more places would do that.
That is good. But I still tip regular if I get the beer myself.
Yeah. Yep.
Still tip. Yeah, I would if I were you. So you're cashing out every time. I guess you have to do that.
I'm just paying in cash each time. Yeah.
I would just spread out the tip at the ball game. I would spread it out.
It's just
that's a really good question though, because in that regard, at the Dragons, you're in the beer cave. You're going and getting it yourself. I don't even tip there. Maybe I'm wrong.
Huh?
I tip when there's a vendor.
Another beer related story. So I went and I took all my coworkers to an escape room. It was awesome. and I go, hey, let's go to King's Table, and I'll buy a round after I paid for the escape room, and we'll talk about what happened. It was 8 people. This was the order. We're at the end of the day. Everyone's off the clock. 4 waters, a craft root beer, a Hefeweizen, a Miller Lite, and then my beer. It came to $19.
Wow.
4 waters.
4 waters.
And the boss is paying.
I know. I don't get.
Always take advantage of that, people.
Take advantage of it.
I mean, one guy's a teetotaler. I understand. The one guy's not a drinker.
Yeah. Well, in that regard, get the craft root beer.
Yeah.
We go out to lunch every Tuesday.
Yeah.
And they always get water. I'm like the only person who orders a drink. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I'm not paying for it, so maybe in that
I like
pay for it, but
I like the stigma that's removed that you can have a beer at lunch.
I want that.
Yeah.
We don't have that. Not in our group.
Yeah.
I want to have a beer at lunch. I can now. I can Monday, Wednesday through Friday, but not Tuesday. I can have a beer whenever I want. I could come to work and have a beer.
That's different because is the company paying for it?
No, the company doesn't pay for any of this stuff.
Company doesn't pay for that.
No.
Okay. Because if the company pays for it, don't put that on a like a reimbursable. Like that's uncouth.
I don't expense anything.
Yeah.
I wonder if those lunches would be expensible. It's a good question for the gallery.
Yeah. So anytime I do like a promotion lunch or a review or just like a manager conversation or whatever, if we go to lunch, I expense it.
I should do that. I don't go out to manager lunches. All right. So speaking of Stev, he provided the drinks for today, but when he originally brought me this beer, I looked at it was like this. Yeah. I looked at the 2 Desert Spoon or Dessert Spoon. What's the 1S?
Desert is 1 and dessert is 2.
So it is Desert Spoon.
Yep.
I looked at that. I thought all 4 were that. So I actually have another beer that I had purchased.
Yeah.
And done actual research on the brewer. And then as I was leaving the house today, I realized there was 2 different beers in that 4-pack. So I'm undecided on the next beer still. But if we don't do that, we'll do it next time.
We'll figure it out.
I guess. Or actually do it next time it's your week because he technically brought this for both of us. It shouldn't just be me who gets the benefit. Having said that, this is Desert Spoon. And this one looks interesting. We talked about it. This was the day that his wife was getting surgery, so he dropped it off right before the surgery, which is like awesome. Thanks, Steph. You ready? You primed up?
Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 1. This is Desert Spoon by... this is a collaboration between Pretentious Barrel House and Land Grant. And what it is can you guess now that you've had a sip what this is?
It's barrel aged.
Is it?
Yes.
This is a Czech style Pilsner aged in Sotol barrels.
Yep.
Now, if you're curious about that, here's what Land Grant and Pretentious have to say about it. Prior to this collaboration, we had never heard of Sotol. It is a spirit native to Mexico and derived from the Sotol plant or Desert Spoon. I feel like it's dessert, but yeah, you're right. I think you're right.
Desert's 1S, dessert is 2.
It's just hard to say. That's all it is. I'm not doubting you. It's hard to say Desert Spoon because of Dessert Spoon, and being the fancy pants that I am, we probably have Dessert Spoon somewhere in the house. We don't. This interesting spirit provided a wonderful smoky and citrusy flavor. After 13 weeks in the barrel, the resulting beer is soft and complex, perfect for the hot weather, and could be accentuated with a lime wedge, which I do not do. That is not a thing I do. I don't know if you do that. Are you a lime wedge guy?
No.
There you have it. Neither of us are.
There's another Desert
lime wedge.
Spoon.
Wow. You can definitely taste the barrel aging in this beer. It actually, I'll save my comment for later. This is a Pretentious Barrel House and Land Grant collaboration. Desert Spoon.
It's interesting because it tastes bigger than the 8% that it is. And just starting my review on Untapped, and Firestone Walker, which is one of the big guys from Southern California, also has a desert spoon. So that makes sense if it's a well-known and reputable plant native to Mexico.
Soda or the desert spoon?
The desert spoon.
Okay.
So I thought the Sodal was also the desert spoon. They were one and the same. It just was referenced.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Okay.
Same thing.
So you said, I mean, it was your words. I was listening.
I'll be honest, when I was reading those words, I was not paying attention to my own words.
That's good.
Do you ever do that? That actually was a huge problem for me when I was a kid. Comprehension.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't understand words, I just wasn't listening to my own brain reading them. Anyway, it's the thing that happened. You get to the bottom of the page and you're like, shit, I don't remember reading this page. Does that happen to you?
It's interesting, this beer, that it comes from Pretentious, because I feel like this beer it lives up to its name. I don't get it. I mean, it is a Czech style pils, but like with Pilsner or Kill, I don't taste like any, and that's like the Czech style pils. I mean, there's a couple ones, and I could get murdered down in the comments, but I don't get any of that because the barrel age either overcomes it or takes that subtlety out of like a Pilsner. And a good Pilsner is very well balanced and carefully crafted. It's not, it's not a hazy IPA where you can throw 47 things into a blender and something delicious is going to come out to at least one person. Like a Pilsner is a Pilsner is a Pilsner. Mm-hmm. Off the top rope, I'll just say I don't get it. This is not for me. This would be a one and done if I had this as a 4-pack. Like there's other beers I've had that I don't care for, but because they're in the fridge, this one would rot in my fridge. I would gift it to people for a conversation, but it isn't for me. And the one thing that I will say that it's velvety, but in an unappealing, wet grain. I know it's a beer type way. Off the top rope. Sorry, Stev. I know. Hopefully this is not a fan favorite for him. Off the top rope. This is a 2.5. This is not good for me.
That is okay. I just want to wait until I get closer to the mic.
Sorry, Stacy.
So I did the little can spin there. This is the can art boner segment brought to you by Chuggalo Stev. Stev, you are the man. As we all know, you are Chuggalo at heart, at mind, and
body
and all physicalities.
When we made the image of the Chuggalo, we had Stev in mind.
Less fit.
Well, he would tell you that
Stev's fitness is pretty impressive. I know he's young, but he does have a lot of beer. He does drink a lot of beer. Did you had his type in mind, his body type, or just more of like his personality?
Yeah. So, because I don't see physicality. Outgoing, gregarious, easygoing.
Yeah. That's true.
Just DTP at all times.
Yeah. Down to party?
Yep, down to party.
I agree with that, and I will say that Stev has his texting with him is always a pleasure because he responds in ways I would not typically get responses. I like that. Anyway, good musical taste too. So this plant on here that I showed, it's very light. It's a darker shade of the same color of the can. It is the Soltol, and the Soltol, from what I'm reading, is part of the asparagus GC. Let me hold on. Let's say this word.
Genus.
Gache. How do you say this word right here?
Yeah, it's what you would think. It's
Asparagisae.
It's
like the Latin.
It's the genus of the asparagus family.
Exactly. So that's what this is from, and that'll be interesting to test the smell of our urine. after this beer. So it's from the asparagus family, genus, not family, from the asparagus genus. Czech style Pilsner. The can art, it's got this kind of like high noon Hollywood. What's that movie with Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor? You know what I'm talking about? Real funny movie. Blazing Saddles.
Yeah.
It's like a Blazing Saddles font there on Desert Spoon. And it's 8%. And it's got the plant. It's got these two-tone green, like lime green kind of coloration to it. I'm glad that they didn't go with like a Corona style coloration and font and stuff. They kind of went with their own thing, which is good. It gives this beer more personality. But they also, I don't remember seeing where the Sotol is from, but given that it's supposed to have a lime wedge, it's probably a Central or South American thing, and it's in tequila, that Sotol plant. It is Mexican, so Sotol liquor is a Mexican drink. So I'm glad that they went with like their own aesthetic here and not just went with like a Mexican beer cerveza kind of art. They went more with like a Wild West kind of thing. And that's probably about all I could say about the can art. Now the letters are in a red foil. That's cool. I like the foil because it glistens off the light. But that's it. That's the can art bonus segment brought to you by Chuggalo Stev. Now here's where I do disagree with Matt on a lot of his points. Though I do agree with him in that you probably wouldn't be able to identify the Pilsnery parts of this beer. The Czech Pilsner has a distinct flavor, and we've had it, and we've commented on it, and we've often said that you probably have to rate them against each other because they don't fit, because you probably won't go 5 on it. Because it doesn't match with other beers, like it doesn't compete. This beer has so much uniqueness to it that it actually mutes the Pilsner. So I actually think that this beer tastes like wood. It might be because I'm currently getting my attic done, and my 100-year-old house has a distinct smell now that they're cutting some of the old wood in the house. Bless you.
Thanks.
And I think that this beer, this barrel-aged beer, 13 weeks, it doesn't feel to me, based on how long some of these beers are put in barrels, it doesn't seem like 13 weeks is long enough to really soak out the flavors of the wood. But in this case, I think that this beer tastes like wood. So that's where I'm at with that. Having said that, though, I don't hate this beer. I actually think it's pretty good. As far as wood goes, this is a pretty decent tasting wood beer.
It's like when you drink good beer and you go back to Miller Lite, and Miller Lite tastes like it's filtered through wood after you've drank like 5 or 6 good beers in a row.
Yeah. The only thing that I think that this beer could do better is mask some of that alcohol on the back end. It is 8%, so it's not like it's a slouch or anything. But after you get through that initial barrel-aged flavor, which I'm quite impressed about, that was what you said right off the bat. I think that there's a strong alcohol taste to this beer, which gives it its only negatives, in my opinion. I think the bitterness is the right amount of bitterness. I think it's the right flavor because it's unique in a way that, I've never had Sotol in beer. I've never had a barrel-aged Czech Pilsner. There's a lot of firsts here for me, and I think that all of the flavors I'm getting come off perfectly, except for that back-end alcohol flavor. I even really like the can art, as simple as it is. I think that this beer delivers, and by the way, Pretentious, I think they mean that in the way that we mean it. Because the guy on their website likens himself to a Chippendales dancer. So I don't think he's takes himself too seriously.
Well, I mean,
unless he really thinks he's a Chippendale.
Exactly. So he's
and
got
no one really
pack.
does. I mean, come on, this is 2022. I think this beer's a 4. I think it's a 4.
The third highest or most common flavor profile and untapped for this beer is tequila. So it's barrel aged. Piney's in there.
I don't agree.
But tequila was the
Piney,
third one.
Yeah, I think Piney is probably a mistake for that like barrel flavor, that wood flavor that's coming out.
Also, I just got a new friend on Untapped. I don't know who this individual is, so if you just happen to listen to us, welcome to the family, Insidious.
Welcome to the BCP.
I don't want to dox them.
Insidious, Chuggalo Insidious.
Yeah, it's a Insidious. Well, her name on Untapped is Barbie.
It's a lady.
Yeah, Texas, no common friends. So,
oh shit.
Yeah.
I think
it didn't look like a bot either because she has a few friends, but like 15, 20.
Skin art's great, but yeah, we gotta do it.
All right,
we gotta do it. And you know what? I'm gonna even offer that either we'll have my beer as a third, or we will. We'll delay your week 1 because I don't think it's fair. That I would
anything.
That I would use Stev's as my week. That doesn't seem fair to me.
Anything with planning.
Yep. So this next beer, we have to do it because it is Tripping Animals. And Tripping Animals has a reputation on our podcast. Let's see if it holds up. But this is Trippin' Zombies Sour Ale with passion fruit, mango, and
thank
coconut.
goodness. Thank goodness. Like if this was going to be like another porter or something, like I was like,
no, Trippin' Zombies Trippin' Animals was the coffee sour we did during the Lent calendar.
The Lent calendar?
Lent or 24 days of Christmas. I don't know. What is it called again?
The Advent calendar.
Advent calendar. Lent is
Let's
Easter.
Just go with Lent.
Lent is Easter.
You said it so confidently. The morning collab.
I felt right. It felt right.
That wasn't the coffee sour. Was it a coffee?
Coffee sour.
I've got the
Coladita. Yeah, Coladita. Or it was like a cappuccino sour or something. It was definitely coffee.
I thought it was like the six different fruits.
It was.
There's morning coladita.
Yeah, the morning part was the coffee, and I think there were fruits in there. And veggies. Maybe some asparagus. But anyway, this is Trippin' Animals. Another brewery that we have talked about in with quite the
reverence.
Adulation. Reverence. Oh, I like that. Reverence. Anyway, let's see here. Let's break into this. This beer is new as shit. Like this beer is like fresh as fuck. Fresh as fuck. You ready?
Oh, primed.
Prime. 3, 2, 1. I hope we didn't have to roll it.
I rolled the shit out of mine.
You rolled it? Well, we'll see how our scores differ there.
That's the beauty of having the bar mat. Rolled it for you.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, I did see that out of the corner now that you mentioned it. So this beer, again, sour ale with passion fruit, mango, and coconut. It is a 6% alcohol. It's a collaboration with our amigos from Beer Zombies, which we also have had Beer Zombies. We had the like 8-bit zombie or something like that a while ago. I'll have to look that one up. Remember that. Tripping Animals. I gotta read it again because to make sure, because I thought it was Tipping Animals during the Advent calendar. I kept saying Tipping Animals, and I think Spill never corrected me, or that might have been a beer I did without Spill. That's it. I mean, I haven't even tried this beer yet, but I want to do it justice because, like I said, I didn't realize until I was on my way here that there were 2 beers here. You got any thoughts?
All right, so there's too much fucking coconut in this beer. It's unfortunate. I've got a list of things that I want less of in beer. Coconut's up there. Watermelon's up there. Help me out. You know what's on the Matt hit list of things that I don't want.
Lactose, salt.
I know. No. I'm fine with both of those.
Too much. Oh yeah.
Pete called me out on Friday when we were having. He's like, "That wait a second, Matt. That beer that you picked has kiwi in it, and you don't like kiwi."
Oh,
in beer.
I love kiwi. Kiwi's great.
But watermelon and coconut are up there for just. They could be eliminated from 95% of the beers, and I think that I would be a happier man. This is. I was hoping for a sour after the bitterness or the in between, like it's not balanced pH wise, but just the dullness of that beer to something like this that's vibrant and offers fruit, and the flavor that always gets brought up. And I was talking multiple times with multiple different people the last few days. Vinegar and sour. Vinegar, like that, that's the profile that the souring agent, the spontaneous fermentation, all of that profile, the betamycins, like
let's talk about that.
The things that I dig in sours and that turn me on, especially fruited sours, because that's some of that spontaneous fermentation you see there. So this is far better. I think it does better than it should because of what it was polarized with.
That is a good point.
You did a good job of picking a uneven week like these. It's tough to do 2 sours or two in the same family. So we're trying, and we have for like 100 episodes, to stay the course and keep things different. There's just too much damn fucking coconut in this. I feel like I'm gonna need to take this out and apply it like on a sunny day. And it's not coconut water. Like this tastes like actual coconut, like liquefied coconut. And I don't care for that, but that's the only detraction. It's the unfortunate thing is like that's 50% of what's on my palate right now. Is I feel like I've got a Mounds candy bar in my mouth. Off the top row.
I love Mounds, but I like chocolate.
This is trending in the right way. It could do more if the fruit was more prevalent and not the coconut. Off the top rope, 4.0.
Woof. Love it. Love that review. Great review. Here's the can art for those interested. We're at 33 minutes, 17 seconds. And I'm spinning the can. Spinning the can for you. That is what we're doing.
What?
We do spin cans before every podcast. That's what we mean by pre-production. We mean can spinning. All right. This beer I have got to clean my palate from this first beer because I'm pretty sure some of these flavors I'm about to describe are a result of the Czech Pilsner. But, boy, I'm going to tell you something. This beer is...
You're going to tell me something, brother?
Just it's just not where I want it to be. You gave this beer with all of your coconut hate.
Yep.
A 4.
Yep.
All right.
Because I was elated to not be drinking the Czech Pils.
Let me at least get through the can art bonus segment. This is a can art bonus segment brought to you by Chuggalo Stev. The can art is so good. It is a zombified hippopotamus. Hippos are so misunderstood by people under the age of maybe 12. We get used to this idea of cute hungry hippos, But hippopotami are fucking monsters.
Did you know this about hippopotamus? They love asparagus.
They probably do.
Connection.
That is a good connection. They will eat an entire watermelon in 1 or 2 bites. A hippopotamus is just, we have done a disservice to the safarier or the traveler of the African continent by making hippopotamus seem like a cuddly animal. They are fucking horrible beasts, and they will eat you, and they will not even be sad about it, because hippopotamus don't get sad.
Just to let you know, and to put an exclamation point on JT's position about hippopotamus, Pablo Escobar had them flown in from Africa to be his guard animals.
Yeah, he had
in Colombia.
He had a trench, right?
Yep.
Water trench or whatever they call that, a moat.
And they're an invasive species now.
Are they really?
Yeah, because they've multiplied and they have no natural predators there.
Well, how could you hunt this thing? It's just fucking massive and has sharp teeth.
They're so voracious in their pursuit when their territory is threatened, and they haven't been checked.
They haven't been checked. They're like alligators if alligators were dangerous.
Yeah.
And that says a lot, because alligators are fucking deadly.
Yeah.
These things, alligators,
they have a move called the death roll.
basically take an alligator and use them as a harmonica.
Yeah.
Because they're horrible, like, death creatures. I'm surprised it's not an Australian thing.
Yeah, do yourself a favor and check out like Pablo Escobar's hippopotamuses.
That reminds me that every movie that they made in the show Entourage, I wanted to see until Aquaman was made, and then I realized maybe we shouldn't make these movies anymore, because Aquaman sucked horribly. Anyway, so it's a zombified hippopotamus. The teeth, it seems pretty accurate, because on a hippo they have a lot of like secondary teeth, but they do have these fang-like teeth that are for grasping, and they're like tusk kind of things. And then the rest, the skin is all eaten away. So a zombified hippo would be pretty horrible to see. And the coloring is great. The shading and the way that the hippo is represented on this can is great. Love everything about it. And I like that every time that what are they called again? The Zombie Brewing does a collaboration. It's whatever, like when they did the collaboration with 8-Bit, it was an 8-Bit themed art, but the art was a zombie thing. I think that's cool. That's pretty cool. Have we ever had a zombie brewing beer that's just not a collaboration?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I agree there.
Hippopotamuses or hippopotami are both acceptable.
Good to know. I'm glad you looked that up.
Yeah, it was bothering me. I just wanted to be for sure.
All right. That's Can of Burn segment brought to you by Chuggalo Stev.
I love you, Chuggalo Stev.
Mm-hmm. This beer hits in a lot of the wrong ways. Now it does have a thicker mouthfeel. As they say, it's got a real 450 kind of feel to it. It's got a thickness. Now it's just below syrup in viscosity, but greater than just your average liquid beer. And I don't know about the coconut per se, but maybe this Czech Pilsner's fucking me up. But I'm getting a lot of both cucumber and pickle in this beer, and neither are listed as an ingredient. All on the exhale, it's just like, it's almost like a muted dill pickle beer from Urban Artifact, but super thick. The mango's not really coming through. The passion fruit, does it ever come through? Because we've discussed that before. Passion fruit is what again? And then coconut, yeah. I can see I can taste the coconut. You always liken it, not you, but like generic person always likens it to a sunscreen flavor. But this, there's something in this, like the dill seasoning or something. It's just sticking out of this beer, and it's making it unpleasant. And it could be the tainted palate, but I don't like this beer. Not much more I can say about it. I give this beer a 2.75. And I like both these breweries. I will put that out there. This is not an affront to them. We don't do that on this podcast. We rate our beers according to how they taste. And I don't like this beer. So that is Tripping Animals. Tripping Zombies.
I need to check just to make sure. Because once you start saying like dill and stuff, you're like a list, like there's a lot. So it makes me wonder. So in mine, it's a sour beer. Sour is vinegar. Vinegar, you get that profile. But like with dill elicits something different because there's many different types of pickles.
Yeah, I'm not saying.
Like, is it like alum that you're tasting? Like the it's interesting.
It could be some underlying vinegar-like flavor. I can't pinpoint it. Not a fan. Even though I'm a fan of both breweries. Now this beer was canned on 6/16/22, so super fresh because it's July. It's the 20s of July.
I'm going through what other people have said about having it. Not a lot of people post comments. Grapefruit, thicker side.
Grapefruit.
Humble Forager. Somebody attributed it to Humble Forager. I agree with you 100%. It's very much in the Humble Forager
feel to it. That's for sure. Yeah, I can see that. And that's all right.
People have a couple of glass pours in it. Man, does it leave a dirty glass? It looks like thick orange juice. Like
Doral, Florida is right by Miami too. Is it?
Yeah, it's opaque. Yeah, this is southern Florida.
Yeah, I don't like this beer. I keep drinking it and I keep thinking I don't like this beer. So that's where I'm at on it. No offense. If you guys are if you want to defend this beer, come on the podcast. That'd be fine with me.
They're very Tripping Animals is very woke in the fact that they're woke. Positive. They have a good social media sorry Stacey, atmosphere and handlings of things.
I love positivity. Positivity is good.
The word woke has such a negative connotation to it. No, you can just be aware.
Yeah,
you don't have to have controversial opinions.
You can be socially conscious.
Yeah. And aware of your surroundings, and I feel like good feelings or good vibes begets more good feelings and good vibes for sure.
This brewery was it started out of a garage in Caracas, Venezuela, which gives it even more meaning because Venezuela is
Tripping Animals was.
It says back in 2011 that. It was back in 2011 that the crew started brewing beer out of their garage in Caracas, Venezuela, making wild concoctions with whatever they could get their hands on and stoking the flames of their passion for craft beer. And that kind of matches with, it's probably hard to get ingredients in Caracas.
Yeah, you need a wheelbarrow full of money for a loaf of bread there, so.
Pretty much. So
you think inflation's bad? It's here.
Yeah, right.
Hey, real bad, but a gallon of gas there up until a couple of years ago was still below 50 cents.
Yeah, because it's all Citgo, right?
Yeah, it's all Citgo.
Yeah. Well, what's it now?
I just remember it's like, oh, if you complain about gas prices, you could always go to Venezuela where it's super cheap.
Yeah. One of my favorite baseball players is from Venezuela. That doesn't mean I know anything about it, but he's from there.
Chris Bryant?
Wilson Contreras. And Chris Bryant, yeah. Yeah, Chris Bryant.
Venezuela's own Chris Bryant.
I don't know if you're interested in another beer.
Oh, by the way, I was right on the All-Star game, so we won't bury the lead on that one. The AL won again.
I'm so sick of the AL winning. And it came down to just fucking Yankees.
So angry.
It's ridiculous. It's the Yankees every time. What is I don't get it. I don't understand why everyone loves Derek Jeter so much.
The captain. I'm on the love. And he's come out and said, like, during this retrospective of his life, that if social media would have existed back then, he would have been outed for some bad things. Like, not womanizing, but I think that's what it alluded to. Like, having fun. I'm not sure.
That's the one thing
he
that
said
I think yeah, maybe he did. But I think that's the one thing that he did okay with. Is that I don't remember who said this, but every woman he dated, not a single one of them ever came out with bad.
Nope.
Like anything bad. They didn't go to the tabloids or whatever, and that's cool. That takes a lot. But it was more like if he was on any other team.
Yeah,
he had 3,000 hits, so that's a big deal. But his defense was fucking atrocious, and I don't know. I don't think he'd be the star he was. And whose fault was it that Alex Rodriguez played third base? Because I think there's a lot of controversy there, and I don't have the answer. And the Chuggalos don't give a shit. But
I think when A-Rod bulked up, he removed himself. You can't have that frame and play shortstop well.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But you're talking about relationships and all that. I'd be remiss if I didn't say that I'm excited for Triple H taking the creative book for all of WWE, not just NXT.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels is doing a yeoman's effort, even though other people, but now everyone's going to be reporting to Triple H.
Wow.
And
I like that.
I'm excited. How we got there, it's not important, but the fact that NXT was probably the best product for like 3 or 4 years. Takeovers were can't miss TV. And I'm hoping that comes back. I'm hoping he has his health and he's able to do it at a high level, because boy am I excited that they're giving him, as they say, the stick and letting him run with it.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. What do you think is going to happen? Well, we can talk about this offline. People probably don't care. But what is happening with current talent? I think it'll change. Got to.
Right. It's one of them now that's has the book, and he was revered and lauded and respected, and like took everyone. It wasn't a scary inapproachability that was to him. It was again, NXT's were appointment viewing. Like, you cared about the product. Like, everything they sold, they took extra steps. Like they didn't outwork themselves. Not everything was a high spot. I think it's going to be awesome. I think you've got some great minds out there. I'll get some heat on this. Like Kevin Nash. Do they bring Kevin Nash in to like help him? And he did that at NXT for the longest time. Scott Hall would go down there and talk ring psychology, and Kevin Nash would come in and just like sit there and talk. And I think a lot of that with this abomination that's NXT 2.0 has gone away. But like, hopefully, like maybe they can send Ciampa back down to NXT, because he's just becoming a generic bad guy with facial hair on the big stuff. Anyways, it's just beer adjacent. You know,
beer adjacent.
Things that make me
beer when we watch wrestling.
Things that make me drink.
Yeah. Oh, things that make me drink. Yeah.
Things that make me drink. I'm excited because the next couple of days I will be headed to Wisconsin. I will be going to Discount Liquor. I will be buying way more than I should. That's why I was trying to avoid buying things when I was down here, both from Halls and Barrel House, even though there was 40 things that I wanted. The beer of the last week that I had, that I would be remiss that I was reminded, I had a barrel aged, which are becoming big, obviously. Barrel aged pastry stout from Three Floyds.
All right.
And it was delightful.
Was it?
On tap down at Barrel House, and it was Scott's favorite. That's why. And Scott,
you gotta have that.
Scott was pouring, so I'm like, I'm gonna go with your favorite.
Yep.
Anything in the last week that you had?
I did have Warped Wings new goes, and it is they're just calling it like goes number 1 or something like that.
So the pilot series goes,
yeah.
right?
Well, they say it's pilot series, but it's not listed under the pilot series, and it's actually what the waitress referred to as flavorless, not flavorless, but like extra flavorless.
Yeah.
I thought it was very good, actually.
It warms my heart that you say that, because I went to, we call it church, when we go, again, no kids, so we went down there yesterday. I had Devil's Candy, which sounded amazing. So it's a goes, smoked cherry and tangerine.
Wow. They didn't have that at the smokehouse.
Not good.
No.
Okay. The best part about it was the dryness.
Mm.
Other people got little pours at the table. They couldn't drink it.
Through their
like
flights.
No. They got a single.
All right.
Because they were like, it was the first beer, because I always try to go with. I had their Applejack Porter, Baltic Porter, which was delightful too.
That sounds good. I didn't see that either.
But that Devil's Candy was not good.
But you liked the pilot series.
Yeah. The pilot series goes. I've had that a couple of times, and then now they have pilot series seltzers, so they had 2 seltzers on tap.
They had 3 at the smokehouse. The goes. I hope they can that. That's good beer. That's it for me. As far as what I've had, all Warped Wing past 2 weeks.
Jeez, I'm terrible at checking stuff.
Oh, and I did get a Cooper's Cooler.
Cooper's Cooler.
For my birthday, from Phil.
Yeah.
Love it.
I'm not familiar. You're gonna have
it is I believe it's what they're using at Barrel House to cool the beer. You fill it with ice, and then you put your can in it or bottle, and it spins, and then it dumps freezing cold water on it, and makes it cold in 1 minute.
Yeah.
It's really awesome.
The draft version of that is an intercooler that just runs it through. Yeah.
Water.
So this is, but you're still able to.
This is a can version.
You can keep it a Cooper's Cooler.
Yeah, and it is. So thanks Phil for that, and Phil. I don't know. We don't have a nickname for her, but my mother-in-law,
Mrs. Phil.
Yeah, Mrs. Phil, got me that.
That's awesome. That's a very thoughtful and poignant gift, and related to the podcast.
It is related to the podcast, yep.
Awesome.
My mom did get me some taps, which I still haven't screwed into the piece of wood yet, but I will.
I want you to give me homework. What's one beer type that you've been craving?
One beer type that I've been craving?
We'll have it next week. I will look for this in the next week. Yep.
One beer type that I've been craving? That seems like homework for me.
Because if you would have said like a barrel-aged Pilsner, I would have been challenged.
That would have
but
been
then we just had, but like if there's a type, like you want a porter or something, give me a gimmick. Give me something to search for.
All right.
And I'll bring it next week.
I will give you a gimmick. Let me think of that gimmick. It's gonna be I want you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. Fruited stout.
Fruited stout.
Oh, I want because I missed out on and I don't want you to go crazy on like money wise. I missed out on the orange Goose Island beer.
I have one in there.
I'd like to see what a fruited stout. So that's a good example. Okay.
Like.
That's an example of it. Please don't waste that on me.
Yeah, a fruited stout. Okay.
Yeah, fruited stout. I'm sure Wisconsin has tons of them.
I've seen things before, so I have high hopes.
He has seen things. I can confirm that.
Yeah, I have seen things. Awesome. I will. So next week, probably a fruited stout and another beer.
Maybe. Probably. Maybe. What's the probability? What do you think?
85%.
85% is pretty good. That's a high probability from a data science perspective. That's basically confirmed.
I'll make it happen.
Man, this guy's good. That's it. That's the Mr. Podcast. We did it again. I mean, episode 194. Thanks to Stinger. Thanks to Stev. Thanks to all the supporters. Muscles.